I wanted to give these notes again in a little slower of a fashion so that students, if they needed to go back, could refresh their notes or add anything that they might have missed. This is from last week, which was the week of, specifically these notes come from September 4th, but it was the week of August 31st. So this was our first set of Unit 1 geography notes, and they were broken up into parts. So this is part number 1. The biggest thing I wanted the students to be able to know is that there's some key vocabulary terms: geographer, latitude, longitude, relative location, and absolute location. We talked about how maps are flat representations of the Earth, yet globes are models of the Earth. These stars here are just important information to know, that maps and globes can change over time and can become outdated as names of locations may change. And also the size and the distance are distorted. Something that they have in common linking these two ideas together, maps and goals, are that they're both based on a grid system. And a grid system is of vertical and horizontal lines that are intersecting. We then talked about our first vocabulary word. A geographer is somebody who studies geography. So we will all become geographers as we study geography. We talked about latitude lines go east and west, which are called meridians, and that longitude lines go north and south. When we talk about latitude, the lines are parallel lines, which means they're lines that never intersect with each other. So there's that math term that also applies in social studies. When we drew our pictures in the back over here, we drew that the latitude specifically here starts at 90 degrees at the North Pole, and then all of those meridians, those parallel lines, are going to continue to go in a descending order, going down by 10 degrees. So 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 60. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. When you get to 0 degrees, you have now reached the equator. And then we start again, just like in a number line, going in the opposite direction, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. When you reach 90 degrees, you've hit the South Pole. So again, 90 degrees is the North Pole, 0 degrees is the equator, and 90 degrees is the South Pole. And this is when we're referring to the meridians, or the parallel lines that we call latitude. Now, when we talk about longitude, this is not going to be parallel lines because they're going to intersect over each other, almost thinking like a beach ball. So these lines are not going to be parallel, and their 0% is going to be, their 0 degrees, is the prime meridian. And so that's going to be the line that's going to go around our Earth, splitting that hemispheres. And so every line going out from that is going to be going up incrementally in 10 degrees until you reach the prime meridian, and then it resets again, just like on this side over here. So we talked then about relative and absolute location. When I refer to relative location, I'm using landmarks. I'm telling you where it is in relation to something else. So Orlando, if I said, where is Disney World? I could say it's in Orlando. I could say that it's north of Naples, that it's south of Tallahassee. These are relative locations, but if I wanted to give you a very precise location, then I would use absolute location. Absolute location is going to use latitude and longitude to give me a GPS coordinate of where this location is. So for example, if I were to give you the location of Tallahassee, I would say it's 30 degrees north and 84 degrees west. And then this is something that didn't need to be added to the notes, but just a fun fact if you like history, we consider the father of geography to be Ptolemy. So to know where our history is coming from and where these ideas are, we did talk about how specifically maps have changed over time. They've become something now that we rely a lot with technology, that thanks to a lot of satellites, we don't need to rely so heavily on maps. There's all these apps and features that will get you to your destination without having to read a map, yet it is still a skill to read and understand and create maps. But we did talk about how far we have come in geography, that we are in a place today where we're getting updated maps as frequently as possible with GPS. So those were our notes that we took from last week.